This was an awesome season finale, and I cannot wait for the premiere of season 3. Let's talk about Pose. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Pose Season 2, Episode 10, and this is the season finale, and the name of this episode is In My Heels. This was a really good episode because it really attacked one of the major issues that not only we're dealing with in the LGBTQ community, but it's an issue that we're dealing with society, and that's toxic masculinity. Like, this episode really dealt with toxic masculinity in a very superb way, and I was so here for this episode. So let me begin. The episode opens up. It is now May 1991. It has been 9 months, since the whole August trip, that when they went to the beach. It's now 9 months later. It's May 1991. Blanca is in her salon. She pretty much has set up the salon in her apartment, and we see that she's coughing, and the way she sounds very raspy. So Blanca is not doing well at all. And then finally we see Praytel shows up. They immediately hug each other. So it literally has been 9 months. Her and Praytel have not seen or talked to each other, but they immediately embrace, because that's what family does. You can go a whole good gap of time and not seeing each other, but when family is family, when y'all see each other, that love is still there. If she talks about, the house has been empty since her children's gone, and Damon has sent her a postcard from Paris, and she mentions that Angel and Poppy are like Lucy and Ricky. Yes. And then she also asks about, so are you still with Ricky? He says that, yeah, me and Ricky are taking it slow. I gave him a set of keys so he can come whenever, but I haven't officially let him move in yet. So this whole time him and Ricky have still been together. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe him being with Praytel actually worked out for Ricky, for the fact that he made Ricky grow the hell up. But then he pretty much notices that Blanca is coughing a lot, so he's like, we need to go to the doctor. And we see that they end up going to the doctor. She's on oxygen, and while she's laying there, she, pulls out her will that she has in her purse, and pretty much she names what goes with what. She pretty much says she wants her clothing and jewelry to go to Angel. She wants her books and tape collection and her boombox to go to Praytel. She wants her cookbook to go to Damien, and she wants her shake and go wig that she first wore at the ball for the first time to go to Electra. And she pretty much, her furniture and everything else, give it to whoever's in need, to anyone in the ballroom. And she says for Poppy, take care of Tippy. And he's like, who the hell is Tippy? She said Tippy was the dog that I was supposed to get this summer. And she's like, well, honey, you need to leave him something real. She says, leave him my journal, because the fact that Poppy is a hustler, he will do right by it, and tell him to publish it, so that people won't forget about me. And Praytel was like, oh no, boo-boo, you are not about to write your epitaph right now. There is still life in you. It is not over. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call every family member to be by your side, because just like you was there for me in my fight, I'm going to be here for you in your fight. I'm like, there you go, Praytel. You better stand up for your sister, and I was so here for that. Because he's like, I'm fighting for you this time, baby. And she's like, I just want to know what peace feels like. And he's like, honey, you don't need to die to feel peace. And I thought that was very important. So then we see that Electra and Lulu come to visit. Electra, being bougie as hell, complains about the fluorescent lights in the room, and if anything, Oh yeah, and Angel was there too, and she was asking, well, how's your model career going? And she says that look, she hasn't booked a gig in months, but he says it's a good thing. But she says it's a good thing that Poppy told me about my savings account, or I really would be up Schitt's Creek. I'm like, yeah, Poppy is your backbone, honey. You better not fuck that up, Angel, or me and you gonna have a problem. Especially because I love me some Poppy. And then we see that Pray Tell and Poppy show up. Poppy brings some sweet and sour soup for Blanca. Pray Tell brings flour, and she was like, "Oh my God, these brings insects, and insects breed disease. We do not need this around Blanca. She's sick enough as it is." And then like Pray Tell was like, "Would you calm down with your bougie ass? Really?" And he's like, "What's going on with y'all anyway? I haven't seen y'all at the balls in a long time. Like, what's really popping?" And they go in, meaning all three of them, Angel, Lulu, and Elektra. They said that, it's screwed up how we made the balls, but we're constantly judged by the hierarchy of gay men who have never walked a day in our shoes. Toxic masculinity, because it's also prevalent in the gay community. And she was saying that, shoot, when it came down to the whole thing of Vogue, who became popular? The men. Off of the floor, and platform that we built, but we don't get celebrated. And this is really true when it comes down to the trans community. The trans community has always been the front runners. They have always been the pioneers and the ones who have really led the gay movement completely. And yet, towards around this time frame, they have been kind of pushed in the back, and it's all about the masculine gay man, or the butch queen gay guy, and it's like the trans women who helped create ballroom are kind of seen as an afterthought. And as I even put it in my notes, this is toxic masculinity within the gay community. And pretty much this definitely got Pray Tell, because Pray Tell knows his history, and he knows it was the trans community that started the ballroom culture. Hello, Crystal LaBeija. Look her up, honey. Aja did a phenomenal job doing her at Snatch Game and RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. I think it was season 3. She did that. But she definitely created the first house, the House of LaBeija. So this definitely hit Pray Tell, and he was like, I guess we have something to talk about in the next council meeting. So we see that he's now the council meeting, with Manhattan, Castle, and I think the other guy's name is, I think his name is Jay. I could be wrong, but yeah. But if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments on what his name is. But so pretty much they talk about look, the ballroom scene is doing very well. We got $5,000 in savings. We are out of the red, and then pretty much Pray Tell mentions that the women of the ballroom are feeling some kind of way, that they're being judged by men all the time, And he was saying that, well, the thing is, that's what we do, but he was saying that, he was saying, but come on, even us men, us gay men, we get judged, being called sissy, girl, and fag. They kind of feel the same way, that here it is, they created this platform, and they're not being celebrated, and we have never walked a heel in their shoes at all. And so therefore, they pretty much come up with the idea, let's do a butch queen and walk. We pretty much drag it up. We put on wigs, and we pretty much do our thing. And so therefore, the wheels start turning on. Like, yeah, let's do this where we can actually show that we can also walk in the heels like the women. So we can actually put our foot to the metal. So this is pretty much, Pray Tell, like, yeah, this is what we need to do. And then we get a scene where Angel pretty much barges into Miss Ford's office, and she's like, what's going on? Like, why haven't you been reaching out to me and all of that? And she was saying, well, I was waiting till I got the full story. And she's like, what story? We see that Angel's on a job, sitting, about to take photos for a photographer, and there's this messy bitch, who recognized Angel from the ballroom, and he was like, oh yes, I've always been a big fan. I definitely loved you. Used to always slay at the balls. And we can kind of tell Angel kind of had that look like, oh my god, this motherfucker knows my tea. The fact that she's a trans girl. And he was playing like, shoot, I've always been a big fan, and I knew you were going places. Now look at you. And tell me why the hell did this stinking, pathetic piece of shit decides to go to the creative director and tell her business, and now she's being told over throughout the industry, and a lot of the people have pulled her contracts, so pretty much her modeling career is now tanked. And she literally just falls and cries in Miss Ford's lap. And Miss Ford knew, but she said that due to the fact that the industry is very sensitive on this, I can't push you now. And then we see that finally, Poppy comes home from work. We see him got a suit and tie on and everything. I was like, oh, check out Poppy. Poppy's a businessman. And we see that, Angel breaks down to him, lets him know that she saw Miss Ford, and she told me what happened, that this guy, and I remember this dude from the balls recognized me, and he told me off, and now it's spread about me. Now everybody knows about me. So yeah, that little and I'm saying shit like that really happens in the community. Bitches who hate, bitches who are grimy, and bitches who are treacherous will do underhanded shit to get your shit fucked up because they feel some kind of way. Like, yeah, he was jealous because here it is, she's being photographed by top men in the industry, and here you are, you pretty much just work behind the scenes, but ain't nobody sweating your ass, and because she's getting the light, you're jealous and you're bitter and you want to fuck up her life. See, that's why I can't stand messy queens, because that was an example of a messy queen. She did nothing to you. She did nothing wrong to you. She wasn't disrespectful to you, but yet you gonna go and fuck up her career. For what? What benefit did it give you? Piece of shit. I wanted to whoop that dude's ass, because I was like, I hate bitches like that, because that's not cool. You literally fucking up her coin just because you want to be on some fuck shit for no damn reason. Fucking loser. Alright, let me get out of that, because I was really heated with that shit. That shit made me so mad. But I loved Poppy in this scene, because he tells her that, look, it's not over for you. I got you. We gonna make this happen. I got you. You gonna bounce back. So then we see, Nurse Judy with Blanca. She's asking about the situation. She's asking about her health, and she says that, look, you have an infection, but she's gotten to the point where she's getting better. She's not coughing, and I think she's off of oxygen. But then she tells Nurse Judy that, look, be real with me. How much time I have left? And she says that, yeah, it's known that you have pneumonia, and possibly you have to start working with those chemicals and with the nails, because you now have low T cells, and you might want to think about getting on disability. And she immediately flipped out like, what? And she says that, look, your body's the boss now. You have to listen to it even though that's not what you want to do. But she's like, I'm only 30 years old. Here it is, I've been fighting my whole life trying to do the right thing, thinking that my world will change. But then she's like, she breaks down because she's like, I guess my body has won. But I'm like, I definitely feel that way too, because I suffer from health issues, and I don't want to be on disability either. I definitely want to work, because I'm a creative person, and I love to do things. So definitely being on disability is not something I wouldn't want either, because it kind of kills your spirit, and you kind of lose your drive when you're a person who's who wants to do great things in the world and wants to accomplish things and want to achieve goals. I mean, one thing I love about Blanca is that Blanca's a go-getter, you know, and I kind of see that quality in myself as well. So to see her go through this, it was really hard. So then we get a scene with Poppy and Angel. He pretty much decides that he wants to become a talent manager for trans girls so they won't get taken advantage of like she did by the industry. But then she was like, you know, she's kind of being a Debbie Downer, was like, it's not gonna work, they don't want us. But Poppy goes to work. He goes to the pier looking for girls, you know. He also talks to Jasmine, who's the pretty brown girl that's a part of the House of Winter, and she was trying to flirt with Poppy, like, you gonna give me precedence over Angel, you know, I look better than her anyway, and all this shit. And he pretty much says that, look, you know, yeah, you beautiful and all, yeah, you sexy, yeah, you're gorgeous, but, you know, Angel's my number one priority. And then she flipped out and she was like, please, you gonna sit up here and try to offer me an opportunity, but yet you won't give me a ranking higher than your girlfriend? Boy, bye. And so she blew him off, and then Elektra was like, honey, you be better off selling to astronauts than to people around here. And besides, you need to, you know, give us something that we can use, like insurance or Big Macs. I'm like, Elektra, you need to stop. But we see that Poppy is not giving up, because afterwards he immediately went to some more girls and asked them, hey, you guys want to be models? But he begins to see that getting models isn't an easy game, you know. So then we get we see that Pray Tell is with Blanca and he's reading the paper, and get this, that stinking racist old bitch Frederica Norman got what was coming to her ass. They found out about the arson. They also found out about her, you know, tripling the insurance. So she's being taken down for arson and insurance fraud. And she could get possibly 5 years in prison. And I was like, see, when you do evil shit, it comes back to haunt you. And let that be a message to all you trifling motherfuckers out there who are out here doing people wrong. That shit comes back to bite, and it comes back to bite in the worst way, honey. You don't get away with nothing in this life. So here it is, her ass in prison. She's talking to her lawyer, and they're not giving her no bail because they feel that she's a flight risk. And she goes on this thing like, it's because I'm a woman. No, bitch, it's because you're a criminal, and what you did was not only cruel, but it was evil. Like, you literally ruined Blanca's dream just out of spite and out of evil, and you thought your ass won, but you being a treacherous evil bitch, that shit came back to bite you. But she was saying that, yeah, that's what they're, but then she made some points though, saying that, yeah, that's what they do. They don't want us to have dreams. They don't want us to build empires. They want us to literally be their maid servants who serve them, who feed them, and screw them, and we get nothing out of it. It's all about us serving them. And she says the only thing that I did wrong in my quest for success and prosperity was that I ruined another girl's dream to secure my own, which she was talking about Blanca. And she says, and for that I will serve my time, because I was wrong for what I did to her, but I will not, you know. But then she says, but I will not apologize for me being a strong woman, nor would I apologize for my ambition. I'm like, yeah, bitch, but your ass is up in there because you did Blanca wrong. See, Blanca is God's gift, honey. And when you screw her over, oh, trust and believe, forces come back to bite. So that was great. That was God checking Frederica Norman for all her bullshit, because she is a criminal, and she is prejudiced, and she is racist. Well, I mean, she is racist, and she is homophobic. So that was the main reason why you were doing what you were doing, and now that shit came back to bite. So yeah, that was definitely everything. We see that, yeah, that Blanca's getting better now. And pretty much, she's just saying that. So he starts to bring it up like, you are going to be at the mother's ball. And she's like, and he says that, and you got to be there because you were Mother of the Year last year. Your presence is needed. But then she was like, well, I'm not really even thinking about the balls. My children are gone. I think she really took it hard that, that her old children have now grown up and they moved out. And she really just hasn't been motivated to keep the house going. So this whole time, the House of Evangelista has literally been somewhat shut down. But he was saying that, look, we gonna work this out, Blanca, and we gonna get you back into the swing of things. I got a trick up my sleeves. And she was like, what you got planned, boy? And she was like, none of your business. I was like, that was cute. Oh, yes. And then I got the scene that I loved was when Miss Electra was now judging. She was now the pray tell of ceremonies. And they were, she was pretty much, trying to train them to walk in heels. Oh, trust me, the council, they sucked badly. But Lamar, Cubby, and Ricky, they slayed her children. She taught them to walk in heels, especially Lamar and Cubby. They killed it. And then Ricky even killed it too, but she gave him a few pointers. Ricky was right on it, serving femininity and was unapologetic. And then all of a sudden we see that Pray Tell sucks at walking. He gets in his feelings, and Blanca is and Electra is really reading him because he's all in his feelings. And I think it was Lamar was like, mother, could you just cut him already? Gosh. And he's like, you shut the hell up. And she was like, this was your idea, honey. This is what it takes. You wanted to see what it was like to walk on our hills. This is what it is. So you need to get it together and quit the bullshit. But he flips out and he ends up running out. Ricky goes after him, and he pretty much tells him that, look, Pray Tell, you need to learn to practice what you preach. And he's like, excuse me? He was like, look, at first when I was when I first was a part of the Femme Queen category, I was so used to being judged for being masculine, and I was afraid to show my feminine side. But now, due to that, I can show a different side. I can be butch and I can be femme at the same time. And Pray Tell opens up about his father, which he has before, and he says that, I used to hear my father say to my mother and my aunt, that boy's too soft, and he said he hated my sissy ass. Sometimes when he would just walk past me, he would just push me. Then the pushes became slaps, and then the slaps became punches. He was determined to beat the man. He was determined to beat the man into me. Isn't that the same thing that Damon's father was doing in the beginning of season 1? I'm like, this toxic masculinity runs deep, even back into the homes where these men are so barbaric and are so, and they so have this whole idea of what a man is, that they feel they're supposed to mold and make you into a certain way, instead of letting you be the person you were meant to be. And he pretty much said that, yeah, he was determined his boy wasn't gonna be no faggot. And pretty much we see that Pray Tell is still dealing with issues expressing his femininity. Remember, that's the reason why he was always coming for Candy. It was on some personal shit, because Candy was unapologetically black and femme and loud, something he was afraid of within himself, so he took that frustration out on her. And pretty much Ricky pretty much lets him that, look, I'm sorry that it happened to you, but you have to let that go and just let your inner queen finally come to the forefront. You're free now, and you have to get past all of this turmoil to let yourself be free. And I can honestly say I was so wrong about Ricky and Pray Tell getting together. They are perfect for each other because they literally balance each other out. You got this older man and got this younger man, but Ricky is quick, as far as like a quick learner, and Pray Tell is wise. So the both of them are good for each other, because in this situation, Ricky schooled Pray Tell, and I was so here for it. So then we see that Poppy and Angel meet up with Miss Ford. He comes up with his business, Esteban Martinez, which is his name, but he said he wanted to call it Fidelity because, it means loyalty and faithfulness, but he says that that name was already taken. And he says that, he has Angel and 2 other girls who are trans, and he wants to get them into the industry, and he wants to make sure that they're represented. And like pretty much Miss Ford says that, look, you got a good idea, but you're kind of living in a fantasy. The world is still prejudiced. You still got designers and editors who are in the closet who don't want to be found out, and they just don't want to deal with girls like Angel. And they brought up this girl named Tula, that she was clocked, but hey, she posed for Playboy. She was on the Arsenio Hall show, and she's like, yeah, and she lives in the UK, and she's like, but pretty much, but Poppy takes initiative, and he was like, look, what I want to do is become, because she was like, I don't understand, why are you here? What do you want me to do? My hands are tied here. And Poppy says, I want you to make me a business within your business, because normally people just see me as a street people just see me as a street thug, but with you on my side, they will take me seriously. They'll see me as a businessman. I work with Miss Ford. And he says that, and then like Angel said, the world don't change, people change it. So Miss Ford decides to give him a trial run. I'll give you a cubicle in the phone line. If you can book one job, I will see about bringing, Esteban Martinez on, full time. So they were excited. So they got their opportunity. So then we see that Nurse Judy is with Blanca. She's in a wheelchair, and she was saying that a lot of people came to visit you, and it inspires so many people. It touched so many people to see that you got people that love you, and you're giving them hope. And then we see that my boy Damon shows up. He came all the way from Europe to see his mother. And he pretty much says that, pretty much Angel was the one who reached out to him. He's been staying in Paris. We also found out that Damon is actually negative. And he's gonna do the choreography from Malcolm McLaren's next video, pretty much similar to what Willie Ninja did, because he choreographed the video Deep in Vogue. Willie Ninja from Paris is Burning. So I'm like, it's kind of like, definitely you see that offshoot of Willie Ninja, being represented in Damon's character. And then he pretty much lets Blanca know that he took Evangelista to Paris. He now is a house father, and he had kids that won't listen and all of that. And pretty much he says, I heard that you closed Evangelista, And he says that, look, and she pretty much says that, yeah, things just weren't the same after all of you left and everything. But he says that, but mother, without you, where would I be right now? There are more Damons out there. Your work is not done. So I thought that was very moving, because he definitely gave her that kick that she needed. That, look, you still have plenty of days, and there's other children to mother. They need you, because look at what she's done. Damon's Damon is dancing overseas. He's a dancer and choreographer. You have Angel, who's doing modeling, and now Poppy is literally becoming the businessman that he always wanted to be. We're kind of seeing that Poppy has always been the manager of Angel, and now he's literally made that into a reality and has really made it a business. So it's like, Blanca, you've done great things. So now we need to find new children and give them that hope and guidance that made them successful. So now we go to the Mother's Day Ball. It's house versus house, and they are playing Sylvester Mighty Real, because Sylvester was another artist that also pushed this trend of femininity. Even when the corporate arena rejected him, he was not going to change who he was. He says either accept it or reject it. So he was another person who was saying that people are afraid of femininity, and I'm all about embracing it in everything I do. So Sylvester was a pioneer, and he's a part of the revolution that we're seeing right now on Pose. Another pioneer and the first actual gay star. Before Boy George and RuPaul, it was Sylvester. So yes, and they played my song Mighty Real, which was his signature song. So it's House versus House. It's Veracity versus Pendarvis in the House of Wintour. Runway, Jasmine got 10s across the board because you had Jasmine, Aphrodite, and Lady B. Jasmine won that category because Jasmine's gorgeous. She's like a young version of Elektra. And then you had the category of realness, which Lulu, Kiki, and Elektra went in. Pretty much worked in that category, and they pretty much worked the judges. And Elektra got 10s across the board. And Jiggly Caliente, who's a part of the House of Veracity, I don't know her character name, but she was like, "Oh, fuck that! My mother deserved to win that. Y'all fucked up for that shit." She went off that Lulu didn't win that category, because Lulu does be serving realness, honey. She got the real hair and everything, honey. The one thing about Lulu definitely ain't clockable. She's gorgeous, but neither is Miss Elektra, honey. So then we got the Vogue category. We got Shadow Wintour, Demetrius, who's representing the House of Pendarvis, and Florida, who's representing the House of Veracity. And we see that Florida was killing it, whipping the hair and everything, honey. Florida Veracity won, and she dedicated her win to her mother, Miss Candy. And she says, yes, Miss Candy will never be forgotten, honey. So it seemed that, she's kind of like that force that became more famous after death. She really struggled when she was alive, but after death, she's literally become a legend. And her name is still ringing throughout the ballroom. And they even have a category named after her, Candy's Sweet Refrain, which we actually see this episode. So I'm going to get to it. So now they do the thing for Mother of the Year. Kiki Pendarvis, Lulu Veracity, and Elektra Wintour are the candidates. And she says that and Pray Tell says that the votes were unanimous, and also was playing is the Gap Band's Outstanding. Outstanding, girl, you knocked me out. Yes, love that track. And he pretty much says that the votes were unanimous because she pretty much created this house out of thin air. And, they have been slaying us with, not only their creative talent, but their couture collection. So the 1991 Mother of the Year is Elektra Wintour. And I can also say Elektra did deserve it because she literally created a new house. And that house has been slaying, So Elektra did that. So then we see that Damien and Blanca he's pushing Blanca in the wheelchair. Pretty much she's saying that, I can't wait to get out this chair and all that. He's like, but Damien's like, are you sure, mother? You pretty much was out of breath when you just walked around the apartment. And she was saying that, look, I will myself, but then, she actually she kind of ran out of energy again, but Damien gave her that push. Then at the ball, we see that Poppy runs into Angel. He lets Angel know that he booked a gig for her and it's in Berlin. So Esteban Martinez has now got their first gig, and they're flying first class to Germany, to Berlin, to do this. And pretty much, and so pretty much we see that, Berlin, that Esteban Martinez is a mainstay. And he also lets them know that, oh yeah, and I let them know that you're a T-girl. They love that over there. They like the difference. So you're great. And he pretty much lets her know that, you're my angel. When I'm with you, I feel up there, and I'm here to catch you if anybody tries to knock you down. And I was like, oh, Poppy, what? Ooh, that touched me deep. And then we see that they both end up getting on their knees and they end up proposing to each other. So they're engaged now, and that was a really beautiful moment. And the kids went wild when they did it, because we love Poppy and Angel. They're perfect for each other. So then we actually get a scene with Ricky and Damon, and it was good that they are now in a good place. Time has passed. Damon is now living in Europe, and Ricky is with Pray Tell, and they pretty much he pretty much congratulates Damon on his success. Ricky got a job dancing with Paula Abdul, and he asked him, "So how are you doing, Damon, health wise?" And pretty much he says, "I'm negative," and he apologizes to Damon for what he put him through, and he says, "I guess being with Pray Tell made me grow up, huh?" And he says, and then like that damn Damon with his shady ass was like, "So I guess being with that old queen has turned you into one." I'm like, bitch, you need to stop. You're wrong for that. But he's like, "Yeah, he even got me wearing eye cream at night and everything." And then all of a sudden they announced that Candy's Sweet Refrain is about to begin. So he pretty much tells Ricky that he has to go. But we see that Ricky still has a place in his heart for Damon. That's a friendship and a connection that will never last. But, now that they both moved on, but I was happy to see that both of them are in good places. And even after all that went down, they were able to move on. So I thought that was beautiful. So then we see that with Candy's Sweet Refrain, now it's going to be a cash prize to whoever wins. And, and he pretty much says that we actually have a special performer. She has been ill, but she is here, and she is going to be our first contestant. And we pretty much see that they play the infamous, the iconic Whitney Houston's rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. I live in Washington, D.C., and at the Smithsonian U.S. History Museum, in the part where they talk about the Star Spangled Banner, her song actually plays. And I remember the time I went with my friend Oscar, who came to visit from Atlanta. We were talking about how emotional it made us when we went through the exhibit for the Star Spangled Banner to hear Whitney Houston's rendition being played. So it's even being recognized at the Smithsonian, because it's probably one of the most iconic performances ever done of the national anthem. And I have to say, Whitney did that. I mean, and it was emotional. I mean, we were kind of tearing up coming out of the exhibit, because you hearing Whitney's voice, and then also knowing that Whitney, is no longer with us. It was a very touching moment. But let me say, Miss Blanca did that. She was first wheeled in, and then all of a sudden, like when the rocket's red glare, she rips the outfit, and she has on this red bodysuit, which was very reminiscent of Whitney Houston. Even the hair. Blanca was giving Whitney Houston realness, and she lip synced that, and pretty much Pray Tell was like, "Oh no, this thing has been shut down. Blanca is the grand prize winner. There's no need to show anybody else, because no one is going to be able to top that." Yeah, because she, even though she was ill, she got up and she gave life to Whitney Houston's performance, and it was everything. So then we now get a flip of the situation. Elektra takes the mic, and now she's the MC. She's the mistress of ceremonies, and she's pretty much saying that we're gonna close the festivities, to see if the men can walk in our heels. And then she pretty much names everyone that she wants to come up. She's like, Angel. Yeah, she names Angel, like, come judge for me. Come judge for me. Come judge for me. Come judge for me. And she pretty much named Lulu, Sania, Kiki, and then she says, so she got Angel, Lulu, Sania, and Kiki Pendarvis all on the panel to judge this this Butch Queen and Drag category. But then she also ends that, but last but not least, the true mother of the year is my Huron, my heart. She has become a businesswoman. Her daughter is now a fashion model. Her son is a businessman, and her other son is a dancer and choreographer. So I pretty much am proud to have her in my life, and I'm glad to call her my daughter, and she calls Blanca up there. I'm like, Blanca is the true star of the ballroom. Absolutely. So they play I'm Every Woman. The category is Bush Queen and Drag. First, we get Ricky Wintour. He is serving Janet Jackson. I was like, Ricky looked cute. I was so with it, though. It was kind of real butch, but it was Queen, though. I mean, he was definitely doing it. He definitely was giving Janet Jackson tease, and it was cute. And then you had Castle Manhattan and Jack. That's his name. They were giving Dream Girls, honey. And they were cute. They was really serving that. And they both played it very well. So that was real smart that they decided to do something as a trio. And then you had Cubby that was serving like realness. Like, he looked like Mariah Carey. Cubby looked gorgeous. But then that damn Lamar came out giving like Vanity 6 tees, giving dominatrix. He's doing splits and shit. Lamar won that. 10s across the board. Then you had Pray Tell finally come out. Pray Tell finally learned to walk in them heels. He was giving Diana Ross, big hair and everything. And then also you see Ricky's like, that's my man. I was like, you better shout out your man, boy. That's what's up. And then when it came to the damn scores, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9. Kiki Mendoza's like, well, yeah, bitch, now you know how this shit feels. And so they kind of kiki with that. And she's like, yeah, payback's a bitch. So that was real cute. So yeah, Lamar did that shit. And Lamar slayed that category, honey. So I was like, yes. House of Wintour cleaned up at this Mother's Day ball. So then after the ball, we see that Blanca has a conversation with Poppy and Angel. They gotta, catch a flight in the morning, and they was like, "You sure you don't want to go to IHOP with us? But we're gonna have a tutti frutti, fresh and fruity, in your honor and all that." So they kind of go off, and then Blanca sees these two young people, and she calls them over. The boy's name is Quincy, and the girl's name is Chris, but they call her Chili. And she asked the girl, like, do you talk? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, well, use your voice, don't be afraid of using it. And we actually see with this discussion, she has found her new recruits for the House of Evangelista. So the House of Evangelista has been born, and she got 2 new kids. And pretty much she asks about them, and they said that, we're from Denver, and we were kicked out of our homes, and we've been living at the piers. And she's like, so what do y'all have to do for food and all of that? And she says that, look, let me know. There's no judgment here. Have you guys had to mop and all of that? She's like, yeah, we had to a few times. And pretty much, within this scene, she decides to take them in. And then Pray Tell comes out, and she introduces the kids to him. And this time, the girl actually spoke up. She's like, my name is Chili. So with that moment right there, she, had become their mother. And they're going out to eat. And they're going to take those kids. And the House of Evangelista has now been reborn. And I was so happy about that. So it was a touchy moment how it ended. And it ended with Pray Tell's quote from season 1. That houses are homes to all the little boys and girls who never had one. And they keep coming every day just as the sun rises. Just as sure as the sun rises. So that was the end. That was pretty much the end of season 2. I enjoyed reviewing this show. I'm so sad that it's gone, but it will be coming back for season 3. And I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. So that's what I have. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the Season 3 premiere of Pose. I can't wait. And I so look forward to it because this show is so revolutionary. And also shout out to MJ Rodriguez. She just recently won the Imagery Award, and she's the first trans actress to win Best Actress. So shout out to you, baby girl. Keep winning out here. And also shout out to the whole cast and crew for earning 6 Emmy nominations. And I'm pretty sure they're going to get some global Golden Globe nominations as well. You know, this show is revolutionary, and I want to see this show continue to win and continue to pay it forward for future generations. So until next time, everybody, take care.